You've probably been told your whole life that words can't hurt you, right? Well, in this explainer, we're going to completely flip the script on that idea. We're going to show you how to really, truly protect your own peace. Because you see, once you understand where that pain actually comes from, no one can ever trigger you in the same way again.
So let's start with a feeling that I bet is super familiar to a lot of us. Being told you're too sensitive or too dramatic. You know, if you're someone who feels things really deeply, you've probably heard this your whole life. And it starts to make you feel like your sensitivity is actually a flaw. Maybe it was just a tiny throwaway comment about your work. Or, a joke about your appearance that wasn't really a joke. But the impact, wow, it was huge. It felt like they literally reached right into your chest and just squeezed. And then you spend days replaying it, wondering, why did I let that get to me? That sting is very, very real.
The usual advice is just to toughen up, right? That the problem is our reaction. But what if that's totally wrong? Let's dive in and really explore what's happening underneath the surface when someone's words really sting.
Okay, so where does that pain actually come from? Well, here's a truth that most of us are never taught. That emotional pain, it's not an external attack. I know it feels like it is, but the real source is so much closer to home. So this right here, this is the fundamental shift in how we need to think about this. We all assume that their words are the weapon, right? But the hurt doesn't actually start with them. It's an old pain already living inside of you, just waiting to be activated.
And to really get our heads around this, let's use a really powerful metaphor. Is this idea of emotional bruises.
So, just imagine for a second that you have this deep, really tender bruise on your arm. I mean a really bad one. And you've been carrying it around and it's just incredibly sensitive to even the slightest touch. Now a friend comes along and just gently taps that exact spot. For you, the pain it's intense. It's way out of proportion to that little tap. But then that same friend gives the same gentle tap to someone else who doesn't have a bruise. What do they feel? Nothing. See, the tap was just the trigger, it wasn't the cause of the pain. The real cause was the injury that was already there. This is exactly how emotional pain works.
So that leads us to the big question. What are your specific triggers? When somebody's words just completely destroy you, it's not because their words are so powerful. It's because they landed perfectly on an old wound that never really healed.
I mean, think about it for a second. Would any of these things bother you if, deep down, you are 100% solid and confident in your own value? Nah, their opinion would just be noise. The only reason it hurts is because some tiny part of you is already worried that they might be right. And that worry, that's the bruise.
Okay, so now that we get the what, let's talk about the how. Because most of us just live in reaction mode, right? We're like pinball machines, just getting knocked around by everyone else's words and actions. But there is a way to take back your power.
You see, there is this tiny little space between what happens to you and how you react to it. It might only be a split second, but that gap, that is where all of your freedom, all of your power is just waiting for you.
So in that pause, and it really helps to just take one deep breath to create it, ask yourself this one simple question. This question stops you from being a victim of what's happening right now and helps you trace that explosive feeling all the way back to where it really came from. And what you'll find, I promise you, 9 times out of 10, is that the feeling has almost nothing to do with the person in front of you. It's way older than that. It's a survival skill you learned a long, long time ago. And just recognizing that allows you to kind of thank that old reaction for trying to protect you, and then choose a different response that actually serves you better today.
Now, the goal here isn't to become a robot or to stop feeling things, not at all. It's about learning to feel that sting without letting it grab the steering wheel. Because when you start to heal that underlying bruise, those little taps, well, they start to lose their power.
Let's be absolutely clear about something. This is not about fixing some flaw in you. You were never too much. You were just someone who was never given the tools to protect your own inner world. And this is a skill you can start learning right now. This, right here, is the ultimate goal. To be able to observe the anger, or the hurt, or the fear, without becoming it. You can learn to just stand back and watch that emotional storm pass right by, knowing that at your core, you are totally safe.
So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. What would change for you, really change, if you knew, deep in your bones, that your peace was never theirs to take? It has always, always been in your hands to protect.